Hey, let's make a handle today. I'm going to start by reaching into my bag of clay, and you'll see this bag is full of scraps. They're not in the best condition, but they're going to make a great handle. So I start by just grabbing a few fingers full, and I'm going to kind of mush this clay together because it is a bunch of scraps. So I'm just going to squeeze it and integrate those scraps until I get sort of a little sausage or a log shape. And then I'm going to start to roll a coil. Usually when I roll a coil, well, I need the surface dry, but then I only apply pressure in one direction, that is away from me. So I'm pushing away from me and rolling this coil into a slightly tapered shape. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking for something that's kind of a carrot shape, and that's starting to form. So I'm checking it out as I go. And now I'm using two hands to make this coil a little bit longer. And I'm going to check it again for the shape that I want. And it's got a nice taper to it. This is starting to look like what I want. So I'm going to flatten it slightly by just tamping it on my wheel head here. I'm going to tamp what I would consider both sides and the edges, and then I'm going to tamp the top and the bottom just to make a nice flat blank that I can start pulling. This looks pretty good, so I'm going to start with this. I'm happy with it. I'm going to reach for my bucket of water and bring it over to me so that I can have all my drips hopefully go into the bucket because this is a drippy process. I'm going to get my hands wet and just start pulling. Just my right hand is wet, and I'm going to start pulling on this handle with an OK shape with my fingers. So I turn the handle back and forth using this OK shape. I'm pulling straight down on this handle. And one thing I'm not doing is I'm not stopping when I get to the bottom. I'm pulling straight off the end. So this is a nice fluid motion right off the end of the handle. And I'm going to keep pulling. I'm starting to feel the clay waking up here. So I'm going to switch to my scissor finger pull. So I've got scissors. I'm turning it around. I will switch back to my OK fingers, and I'll switch back and forth, just turning the handle and making sure I'm going to have a nice, smooth, even handle. If I were to cut this in half, I would see a nice symmetrical cross section. So now I'm going to shape this handle into a curve and let it set up. So I'm going to move my bucket out of the way and grab my wear board and just let this set up next to the other handle that I made. Always make at least one or two more handles than you think you need. That gives you a good selection for fitting later. And I'll let these just dry out a little bit until they are ready to attach.